Marcus King grew up surrounded by music. His great-grandpa played fiddle, his grandpa booked Johnny Cash shows, his dad even played in a band. So yeah, music was in his blood.
Somebody out there still give a damn about me.
But none of that protected him from life. Marcus's mom left when he was just a kid. He spent most of his teenage years chasing a dream and running from pain.
There's a lot of gigs you do in the early days where they usually pay you with a case of beer, but I was 15, so they couldn't do that. And there'd be a lot of under the table deals, like there'll be a case of PBR at the bottom of the stairs in the back alley at 3 a.m. You can pick it up there. That's kind of where the substance abuse started.
By his early 20s, he was touring the world and falling apart at the same time. Substance abuse crept in. He said at one point he really didn't know if he would make it to see his 30s. But somehow, he made it through. Because just when the story looked like it was over, love showed up, and it saved his life.
I gave her a kiss and said, "Quit your job and marry me." And I heard from somebody later that that's called love bombing. It worked in my favor.
So this is how Marcus King faced every demon that tried to destroy him, and came out with one of the most powerful redemption stories in modern music. And oh, by the way, you gotta stick around because we might hear an important message from Marcus himself at the end of the video.
If I could say one thing directly to the fans that have stuck with me, I would just say...
So, this is the story of Marcus King.
Guys, it's super cold outside. I think we all know that, but Marshwear has a ton of cool outerwear for those colder temperatures, whether you're wearing the puff jacket like this or you have the button down Cody cord shirt, rocking the heritage hat as well. But you can use our code WesternSide15 at checkout for 15% off any full price item. One of my other personal favorites would probably have to be the Baytown Sherpa jacket. It seems like I've been wearing that thing every single day in the fall, so definitely check it out and you will not be disappointed. Marcus grew up in Greenville, South Carolina, in a family where music was a way of life. His great-grandpa played the fiddle, taught his grandpa, and it just kept going from there. His grandpa actually made a career out of music through the Air Force. He was in charge of booking talent for NCO clubs, bringing in artists like Charlie Pride, Barbara Mandrell, and even Johnny Cash. His band would back them up. Marcus's dad was even impressive. He toured constantly, played with a band called Five Wheel Drive. They were even pitched Watermelon Crawl at the time before it became a hit.
Don't drive, do the watermelon crawl.
So Marcus grew up surrounded by the stories of what Nashville could be, and what it takes to chase that dream. But Marcus, he actually picked up a guitar when he was just a few years old. But the first instrument he actually fell in love with was the drums. By 4, he was playing with his grandpa who'd tell him, "Play that train beat," and Marcus would just light up. But behind all that music was a lot of pain. His mom left when he was really young, around 5. He said he'd cry so hard at school that they'd have to send him home. His grandmother stepped in and became like his mom. Marcus described her as this sassy, affectionate German woman who gave him this kind of love he needed, but that hole from losing his mom never really went away. When Marcus was 13, a girl he had a crush on died in a car accident. That moment wrecked him. He said he already had these abandonment issues, and after that, he didn't know how to comfort himself. That's when he started writing and singing, using music as a way to pour out everything he was feeling. The first song he ever sang publicly was Not My Cross to Bear by the Allman Brothers Band. From there, music became his whole world. By the time he was 14, he was playing bar gigs, performing, and the school actually tried to put him in juvenile hall just for being late. Eventually, Marcus just dropped out. He said it gets pretty surreal out there. As a 16-year-old, people will try to take advantage of you. You grow up pretty quick. And with that lifestyle, late nights, bars, and touring came another part of the story. The start of a long battle with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, I first smoked pot when I was 11, and then from there it just kind of, took off. So, and all my friends were always a lot older than me, so I started going to college parties when I was 14. Had my driver's license by 14 and was working in clubs by the time I was 14 and a half. Always in a bar and always gigging.
He'd play a show and the bar would just hand him free drinks after his set. At first, it was kind of fun. Then it became a way to cope, to keep going. And really, when Marcus had one drink, he just couldn't stop. What started as kind of a teenage dream of being on stage was slowly turning into something darker. By the time Marcus turned 18, he was chasing his dream harder than ever. He and his drummer packed up and headed to San Diego to cut their first record. It was a wild setup, actually. They had friends in the reggae world, and one of the musicians from those bands had an incredible home studio.
Larry and Jay from the Movement, their mother had like some kind of court settlement, and they got a bunch of money from something because something went terribly wrong and she ended up paralyzed or something like that. And then they bought this great big mansion outside of San Diego, and they had like a pot farm on the property, and it was just this really weird, crazy scene for us. And we were like, hell yeah. And our buddy Bill Hahn was like, I'll fly y'all out there if you want to do a record.
That's where Soul Insight was born. But what's crazy is how everything that happened around that record started to change Marcus's life. While he was in San Diego, he started dating the girl who was engineering the sessions. Her sister lived in Los Angeles, and one day she told Marcus, "You've got to check out this shop called Norman's Rare Guitars." So Marcus walks in, picks up a guitar, and just starts playing. And the people there stopped and listened. They asked him if he'd play something for the YouTube channel, so Marcus did.
Here with a great player that I was listening to as he just started playing. From growing up in the shop, I can tell if someone's a good player from the first 4 seconds that they start playing. And this guy's pretty damn good.
Now then bring her back home to me.
Marcus didn't think much of it, but the video started to take off. Suddenly, people all over the country were hearing this kid from South Carolina who played like he'd lived 100 lives. So back close to home in North Carolina, a friend named Rocky Lindsley heard that same record, Soul Insight, and he decided to show it to his old high school buddy Warren Haynes from the Allman Brothers Band. It's funny because just a few years earlier, Marcus had actually tried to sneak into one of Warren's events when he was just 15, pretending to be a caterer just so he could hand him a demo. But this time, things were different. Warren listened to the record and loved it. When Marcus was 19, Warren invited him to come record at the Carriage House in Connecticut. That session would become the 2016 Marcus King Band record, the one that took his music to a whole nother level.
Rita gets gone. She ain't coming back.
And I mean, man, let's talk about this record. You have a whole mix of influences from soul, jazz, rock, everything. And the opening song, Marcus just sounds well beyond his years. And it's really just amazing that he was just 20 years old when it came out.
Instead, you just let me be.
I just imagine Marcus singing in front of a crowd at a fancy venue for this song, and the curtains open, and he's just in a suit and jacket, just giving it to the audience. Rita Is Gone is another one of those songs where it just has these horns that add to this jazzy soul feeling. And the chorus is pretty dang catchy as well. Self-Hatred sounds like it could come from an era 40 years earlier.
It is with you and me.
But Sorry About Your Lover is probably my favorite, and it's actually the first song I heard from this album, so it has a special place in my heart.
Sorry about your love, no.
It sounds a little country, a little soul, it's easygoing, and you can throw it on for really any occasion. And of course, we gotta give props to the Marcus King Band and all the amazing musicians that he's played with along the way. There's just tons of talent. After his debut album put him on the map, Marcus King didn't slow down. The Marcus King Band kept grinding, taking their mix of southern soul and blues rock across the country, and by 2018 they released Carolina Confessions, produced by Dave Cobb. And this album was something deeper. It had that swagger and grit people expected from Marcus, but also the pain and searching of a young man still trying to figure himself out.
Goodbye, Carolina.
Songs like Goodbye Carolina hit especially hard, and you can feel Marcus wrestling with leaving home, chasing dreams, and the weight of everything he'd seen on the road. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about survival and finding peace in a life that really never slowed down. But then came a shift. Marcus stepped out on his own. The Marcus King Band took a pause, so now it's just Marcus King. He teamed up with Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys and walked into the Nashville world of Easy Eye sound. The result? El Dorado, a blend of southern rock, R&B, and soul that showed the world Marcus wasn't just another guitar prodigy. He was an artist. Songs like The Well reminded everyone he could still absolutely shred.
Got to go to the well.
But Wildflowers and Wine and Sweet Mariona revealed something different.
Sweet Mariona.
Kind of a more sweet side, a tenderness, or a longing to it.
Feel it the same way too.
From the outside, it looked like Marcus King had finally made it, but what no one could see was how dark things were getting behind the scenes. The more success he had, the more he started to lose himself into addiction, the drugs, the alcohol. The music that once saved him was now buried under the noise of expectations and his own demons. Then in the middle of it all came a breaking point. The moment Marcus still talks about to this day. During what was supposed to be a relaxing staycation in Nashville with his girlfriend at the time, they began to get into an argument. He took a walk outside at night and Marcus says he saw something, a dark hooded faceless figure. He thought to himself that this was a sign. He had to do something. And the crazy thing is that he said he was sober that night. That experience would become the turning point and sets the stage for Youngblood, maybe his best record in my opinion.
I hate to see you go.
Marcus once told the New York Times that he lets the drama in his life build, and then I write a record. And that's exactly what happened with Youngblood. This was his second album with Dan Auerbach at Easy Eye Sound, but it couldn't have come from a darker place. Marcus poured everything he'd been battling, the pain, the addiction, and the self-doubt, straight into these songs. The record kicks off with It's Too Late, and right from the first few seconds, it just grooves.
Nothing about it that won't bring a tear to my eye.
It's loud and it's gritty, full of swagger. The way Marcus delivers each line feels effortless, but there's something underneath it, kind of like he's singing not just about a relationship falling apart, but about himself. It's almost as he's saying, it's too late to save me.
And I hate to see you go.
Then there's Rescue Me, one of those songs that sounds incredible on the surface, but when you really listen, it's heartbreaking. When he sings, hold me down, don't let me get any higher, turn me around, pull me away from this fire, rescue me, you feel that desperation. It's Marcus calling out from the middle of his breaking point.
Rescue me.
In Pain, that one just seals it. Every riff and every vocal line, it's him just working through the chaos inside.
Pain won't go away.
But for all that darkness, there's still a fire that's always been a part of Marcus King. Tracks like Hardworking Man remind you that no matter how bad things get, he never stops doing what he does best, playing his heart out. That opening riff alone feels like a shot of pure energy, and it's no surprise it became a fan favorite.
Hardworking man. Yes, I am.
Youngblood just wasn't another album. It was Marcus confronting the worst parts of himself head on and somehow coming out on the other side. It was actually just before Youngblood was released. Marcus was still fighting his demons, but life had a way of throwing him one last lifeline in 2021. He was playing a show in Raleigh, North Carolina. The night before, he performed in Charlotte, and somewhere in that crowd, there was a girl named Briley. After the show, she posted on social media saying how much she loved the set, but that he didn't play her favorite song. Marcus saw the comment and shot back, "Well, if you come to Raleigh, I'll make it up to you." And she did. Briley and her friend hopped on the bus. He said these two musical theater girls were dancing and singing along to Linda Ronstadt on the bus stereo, just lighting up the room. Everyone was dumbfounded, and Marcus was taken by her. At the end of the night, he kissed her and said,
Quit your job and marry me.
It didn't happen right away, but eventually, that's exactly what they did. Marcus later said the last time he really made an effort to get sober was when he met his now wife. He saw something that finally made life worth living. After years of chasing pain through the bottle, Marcus finally found peace in something real. Briley became that anchor he'd been searching for all along. His life started to slow down in the best way. The same guy who once thought he wouldn't live to see 30 was waking up every day grateful to just be alive. He later described that night in Nashville when he saw the figure. It wasn't necessarily an omen, but more of a warning to get it all together. And that's exactly what Marcus did. He was off the hard stuff, and of course sobriety is a journey, but he was slowly figuring out how to stay away from it. And you can kind of hear it in the music now. There's still some fire in there, but it's not this self-destruction feeling anymore. It's joy and it's purpose. Marcus says he still carries his demons, but they don't drive the bus anymore. Now, it's love that does. The couple got married in 2023, and they've been a power couple ever since. So then came Mood Swings. It was produced by Rick Rubin of all people, which already tells you this was going to be something special. The title track Mood Swings has this easygoing, uplifting vibe to it. The line that really sticks with me is feel like I can really be myself around you. You can just tell that that's a comforting thing for Marcus, like he's finally found someone who lets him breathe.
I feel like I can really be myself around.
He's still fighting his demons, but he's grateful for the person standing by him through it all. I'm assuming he's singing about his wife here. Then you've got F My Life Up Again.
Let you down one last time.
Whether it's about a past lover or even a metaphor for his addiction, it's this complicated story about someone who believes that they don't deserve to live without pain. He even sings, "The problem is always me." But somehow he still admits that this person or maybe this thing saved his life.
Watch me lose control and feel ashamed.
The strings in that song are just incredible. There's just one part that makes you feel like it should be in a James Bond movie or something. And then there's Delilah. It's easily a standout. It's a piano ballad Marcus wrote with Gabe Lee, and it's such an easygoing sing-along, especially when the chorus hits. But now here we are. It's fall 2025, and Marcus King released his first record back with the Marcus King Band, Darling Blue.
Wondering what I'm gonna do.
This is probably his most country-sounding record yet, but it still has that signature Marcus King soul to it. It's notable for all the collaborations, Jamie Johnson, Caitlin Butts, Noah Cyrus, folk singer Jesse Wells, and even Billy Strings. This feels like the most grounded we've ever heard him. Heartlands kicks things off with a steady drum beat that carries the song, a feel-good track paying homage to that classic Americana sound.
Hallelujah.
Honky Tonk Hell is exactly what it sounds like, a groovin' honky tonk tune that's actually pretty nice instead of hellish.
As far as I can tell.
Somebody Else featuring Jesse Wells is a sway back and forth ballad with those la la la's at the end. Their voices blend together perfectly. Then there's Carolina Honey, one of my favorites. High energy, horns in the background, bringing him back to his soulful rock and roll roots. Levi's and Goodbyes has one of the more memorable guitar riffs on the record, another rocking track. And Here Today with Caitlin Butts and Jimmy Johnson is an outlaw country jam, the kind of song you can put on anytime and just enjoy.
Never looking back's my middle name.
Overall, Darling Blue is a strong record that showcases a more country-leaning Marcus than we've ever heard. Also, it's pretty crazy now because Briley just released her cover of The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia, and it's exploding right now too, so definitely check that out when you get the chance. From the start, Marcus King's story has been more than just music. It's been about survival, growth, and finding your way through the darkness, even when it nearly destroyed him.
But hold up, I gotta call Marcus real fast. Let me see if he picks up. Let's see here. Oh, what's up, man? Hey, I gotta ask. Throughout your whole entire journey, what's the most powerful lesson that you've learned thus far?
The most powerful lesson I've learned on my journey thus far is that kindness goes a long way. Kindness is really the key. Kill them with kindness.
Okay, I got you. But is there a message you would say to the fans that have stuck by you for this long?
If I could say one thing directly to the fans that have stuck with me, I would just say, please don't stop loving me. I love you.
That's really nice, Marcus. Well, thanks for checking in, and I'll talk to you later.
So along the way, he faced addiction and heartbreak, but he kept going. Music carried him, and the people around him, like Briley, Albums like Darling Blue show a Marcus King that's still fiery and soulful, but also grounded, at peace and full of himself. His journey proves this. No matter how dark things get, the right people and the passions that drive you can guide you back to the light.